Alright guys, and welcome back to a new review. Today we're taking a look at a little something different. Today we're going to take a look at the Revoltech Mini Kaiyodo Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain Venom Snake. This is the olive drab version. This one just released. So I'm going to take a look at this. So here's a look at the box art. It's pretty cool. You can see there's quite a loadout of stuff in there. You got the snake himself, Punish Snake or Venom Snake, whatever you want to call him. Demon Snake if you get to that point in the game. Bring it around to the side. You got the pretty cool little artwork from the video game. And here on the back we got some pretty cool look at some of the poses that you can get the figure in. Most of the writing is in Chinese or Japanese, not quite sure, but definitely this figure was made in China. Revolmini line. So pretty cool box. Another little shot of the figure posed up. And take a look at the top. See, it was sculpted by Yamaguchi Katsuya. Probably butchered that, but nonetheless. And then this is Revoltech Mini number 15 in the line. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this open and give you guys a better look at Venom Snake. Okay, so before getting into the figure itself, just going to give you a brief overview of all the accessories in package, because it is lined up pretty nicely and everything is pretty small. So you get his rocket launcher, his pistol, machine gun, an extra attachment for the machine gun, the eye droid, another attachment for the gun itself, as well as a sling and a ammo case, the knife, as well as the sheath and a knife sheath. And then you also get some hands. This little part right here is a stick to move his eyeball around. And then over here you get some more of the hands, the Phantom cigar, his goggles, and then part of his bandana. And then underneath that tray is the actual display stands themselves. So it comes with a couple of different setups. So you got the little clear one for simply standing them on, a clamp to go with the stage, and the pole. So now we'll go ahead and take a better look at the figure. Okay, so here's a look at Venom Snake out of package. Got him in a basic pose, pointing his handgun. Pretty cool looking figure, I think. Give you a 360 look at the pose and the figure itself. Pretty pleasantly surprised with the articulation on this guy. He's pretty cool. Coming a little closer, get a better look at it. He's got the Diamond Dog logo there on his arm. Pretty good paint job also on the robotic arm. And good posability, getting him into poses is not hard at all. So just take hold of him here so you can get an idea of his articulation. So I'll just zoom out a little bit. So head is on like a double ball joint. The neck and the head move independently, so you can get some pretty awesome articulation out of that. The scarf just kind of moves along with it. Arm, full ball joint, elbow, also on a ball joint there, and wrist is on a swivel and a hinge, so a lot of articulation there. Waist has 2 points, you can see like right here, the upper and the lower, so you can get them into some pretty good crunches. Legs also like segmented in the hip area, so you can pull them up very high. Very good articulation there. Double jointed knee. Even though it's really a single joint that creates it, because it does create this ugly seam, but you get a ton of articulation out of it. And then the foot is also on a ball joint, so up, down, and then however you position it, you can actually get tilt out of it. So there's quite a bit of articulation here. There's also a posable eye, which I'll show you a little bit later on in the review, which is amazing because, I mean, you look at like my pinky here, and it's smaller. The head is smaller than that, and then you got an eyeball in there that you could pose, which is pretty insane. But coming in a little closer on that head sculpt, you get a better look at it. Pretty good detail, especially for such a tiny figure. It's really not that sloppy of a paint job. You can see the glassiness of the eye inside there. Amazing how they do that. It's got the shrapnel sticking out of his head. One of the design choices I always hated for Phantom paint, but it is what it is. Again, it's a better look at that Diamond Dog logo. And again, you can read that at this scale is pretty amazing. And a better look at that hand. You do get quite a bit. I'll show you those in a little more detail in the accessory section. But nice glossy paint on there. All the pouches, his Walkman, pretty nicely recreated here. Also, even take a look at the arm. It's got the scars on it, just like he does in the game. And then pull him around to the back. You see, you got all the straps, the Fulton gear, canteen, all the sculpting in the legs, really nice. Looks really sharp, even down to the boots themselves. The bottom of them has detail. So they've really packed this guy full of articulation and detail. So it's a really cool figure, and I also got to say the joints are all pretty smooth. I really impressed with, you know, there's no floppy joints, nothing like that. So holds all his poses. He also stands pretty well on his own too. So getting him to stand is not a problem. So very cool little figure. I definitely like it. Glad I picked it up. You know, it's definitely not a scale I normally collect. It is very small. But he's going to go on my little collage for my Metal Gear shelf. And glad to get him. And I finally got a representation of Venom Snake in my collection. Pretty awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit more detail on the accessories and what he comes with. Okay, so here's Snake puffing on the Phantom cigar. Also took the liberty to put the goggles on because this is the accessory section of the review. So let's give you a look at what it looks like on the figure itself. Not a display option I would use, but that's what it looks like. And the Phantom cigar once again. So let's take a look at some of the accessories in a little more detail. So I'll go over the hands really quick. You get 5 total right hands, and you get a total of 4 left hands. Obviously 2 of the hands are on the figure currently. So there's something for every particular weapon, you know, whether it's the handguns, the iDroid, the cigar, no matter what. You got a hand for that, which is pretty cool. And they're all at this scale done really well. Looks pretty cool. And there's a closer look at the iDroid itself. Does have some extra detail on it. You see it's got the paint. Pretty well done. This part is, I think, extra scarf, so if you want to have it covering more of his face, you could use that. And here's a good look at the actual rocket launcher. It's pretty nice. It's like an RPG type rocket launcher. Detail on here is really good. painted really clean. Definitely a cool little accessory to have. Again, those are the knife setups. So you got the knife sheathed, the knife unsheathed, and then the holster for it while it's unsheathed, which will attach to the back of the figure. And then one of the coolest weapons is actually his machine gun. So with that, you actually got some pretty cool options in the game. You can customize the actual weapon, and this is pretty much like a fully loaded workup on that. And you can actually detach it and make it a little more basic. So you could attach that stock on it. And then you could also put the clip on here. See if I can figure out how to do this. Oh, this has to be removed in order to peg this in. So what you do is you would peg this in like so, and then you could also change the butt stock on the weapon itself. That removes, and then you can make it a little more modular with this one. So pretty cool modular setup, so you can set it up the way you want to do it, which is cool. Definitely digging that. Okay, so here's a look at the eyeball system. So here's the head off the figure, because that's the way to access it. And if you take a look, flip them around, you'll see the eyeball in there. And this is the tool provided. So you just stick that in there. And then, sorry, I'm out of frame, but really can't see what I'm doing. And then, there you go. So you can move the eyeball wherever you want to. So, neat gimmick, especially at this scale, but a little tedious to work. But it's pretty cool. Alright, so here's like another little pose here for the figure, and you see how I've set up the configuration on the gun. Definitely like the way this looks. Pretty cool setup, and you can see he holds everything really well. Zooming in on that. Got his fingers on the triggers for both the grenade launcher and the regular trigger. And you kind of have him looking in the sight, obviously this way, looking through a blind eye, but like the way the positioning looked. Very fun little figure to pose, definitely digging it quite a bit. It is small. Again, it's only about 4 inches tall, so not a very big figure, but certainly something that's pretty neat to sit there and pose around and just set him up however you want, whether he's smoking a cigar, holding a gun, the rifle, or the machine guns. He's definitely very cool. So I'll show you a couple more poses, and then here's another look at a QCQ pose, close quarters combat, where Snake often uses his handgun and his knife in combination. I'll just give you a closer look at that. So pretty good articulation. You can get some really cool poses with that. It's a lot of fun to just mess around with and get into some signature poses from the game. Very cool. Holds all his weapons really well. I'm pretty happy with the way they've designed the figure. A lot of fun. Definitely recommend it. This is the olive drab version. There was a earlier version with the more standard black outfit and some beige pants, something along those lines. They also come out with a Soviet soldier, so you could certainly get him into some positions, taking out one of those, interrogates them. That would be pretty cool. You know, something like that. So very cool line. Pretty inexpensive, about $40 $4, I believe. Picked this up from Big Bad Toy Store. It is a small figure, so there's a lot of money for that size, but you do get quite a bit of stuff with the figure. You see, just spread out all over the place. Lots of ways to create scenes from the game itself, pose them up on your shelf, and have a nice representation of Venom Snake for your collection. So that's it. That's a look at the Revoltech Mini Venom Snake. Thanks as always for watching, subscribing, and commenting. Till next time, guys.